you for attending today's rooferscoffeeshop.com webinar. We are very honored to welcome Marty Stout, President of Go Roof Tune-Up. Marty has developed a new business model for roofing contractors, and we are really excited to share this with you today. But first, a few housekeeping items. My name is Heidi Ellsworth, and I'm very happy to be moderating today. And I just want you to let everyone know that all attendees will be muted, but feel free to ask questions or comment in the comment areas of your webinar panel, which is over on the right-hand side of your screen. At the end of the webinar, we will have a Q&A segment where we will gather your questions and share them with Marty. So be thinking about it, making little notes as we go through, and typing them in that comment box or the chat box. Also, this webinar is being recorded and will be available online to view if you'd like to share with other folks in your business or other roofing professionals. And it is a great opportunity to go and see it online, all of our past webinars also. So today, we would like to get started, and this is about how to grow your residential repair and service divisions. So welcome, Marty.
Thank you for having me. I really am excited to be here.
We are so excited to have you. And just for everybody out there, Marty Stout is the president, as I said, of Go Roof Tune-Up. The company focuses primarily on inspecting, reporting, repairing, and warranting single-family homes. Go Roof Tune-Up is active in Southern and Northern California, Arizona, Nevada, Colorado, Texas, Washington, and Florida. Marty currently serves on the technical board for the Tile Roofing Institute. And again, Marty, we are just so thrilled to have you here today. I have been watching this. We've been so lucky, Vicki and I both, to have known you for so long, to watch the growth of Go Roof Tune-Up. I would love it if you'd share with the audience, how does it work? What is Go Roof Tune-Up all about?
So we find roofers in specific markets that we think are good markets, and we meet up with, or we connect up with roofers that are good quality contractors, and we create a marketing plan with their input. We create a marketing plan that works for that area, and we work together with our marketing people and with them to figure out whether radio is the best way, or internet, or email campaigns, or door-to-door campaigns. Whatever the best way to generate business in any given market is, we set that up, and then as the leads come in, we set up the appointment. The roofer goes out and does the inspection, makes an appraisal of the job, does the report, works up the price. He has an opportunity to sell the job right then. We encourage him to sell the job. When the job comes in, we in turn then give him a work order. We buy the material. He does the job, and we pay him. And then after that process goes through, we collect the money from the client. And in all of that, because he's working with us, we cover the general liability insurance. He's not required to have any general liability for us. And we support the entire back office process. And we provide a 5-year warranty on all of our work, and we back the roofer up for that 5-year warranty.
Wow, Marty, that is amazing, and it's really, we hear every day about how much there is a need for service work in the market, and we're seeing a lot in commercial, and we're also starting to see, and it looks like you're really on top of this, a lot more service, and also just kind of, like you said, tuning up that roof in residential. So really, with Go Roof Tune-Up, are you primarily residential or commercial?
No, we're 99% residential. We feel that there's an underserved piece of the market in residential with what we call a tune-up and maintenance, ongoing maintenance programs, those types of things. We believe that's wholly underserved, and so we're just focusing our attention on that right now.
Excellent, and that's really where a lot of that marketing you were talking about in the last slide comes into place, to get in front of those homeowners, which is not always the easiest thing to do.
Exactly.
Well, good. Well, for the contractors who are out there thinking about this model, can they have their own business and work for Go Roof Tune-Up? How does that work?
Yeah, we're not looking for any exclusivity at all. We encourage our contractors to have other work that they do. Certainly, we want them to honor the work that we've given them and live to the schedule that we've mutually agreed on. But if they have work outside of our contract, we encourage that. We help them to grow their business. That's what it's all about. Some of our guys that have been with us for a while recognize the value of the program that we have and the back office support that we give, and they sell work and they bring it into Go Roof Tune Up. We don't necessarily require that, but it works well for them because they once again don't have to have any kind of back office support. It's all comes from us.
I tell you what, I've met a lot of contractors who I think would love not to have to deal with that back office. I mean, to be able to just go do the work and enjoy being the roofing craft, that's a great advantage. What are some of the other advantages of being a Go Roof Tune-Up contractor?
Well, one of them is, as we mentioned, marketing already. I'm not a marketing guy. I'm a roofer in my core, but marketing is an important piece. Everybody knows that repairs are really good money-making items or jobs to do, but you got to get enough of them to keep you busy. And so, because our marketing our global marketing is pretty big and has a pretty good budget, we can kickstart an area or kickstart a roofer with our marketing that most people can't afford to do. And so we can focus on how to grow that business, how to grow that territory, and do that with our global program, where most people can't do that. And then at the same time, I'll say it again, our back office is strong, and it's not a cheap thing to set up, but our back office is strong and very supportive. So those two things are really I believe, the main advantages.
Well, and also, as part of that back office, I know that you've talked about handling the collections, which is always really hard, and that cash flow. That's a big part of it too, right?
Absolutely. Our process is, as soon as the job is paid, it's processed, and within a week that job is paid to the roofer, and we take care of everything else. And we've had instances where it's taken us a long time to get paid, but the roofer has been long time paid. So it's a good collaborative effort. We really work hard to make everybody a success.
I think that's interesting too, because as contractors start their businesses, or if they're just started and they're pretty small, they want to figure out ways how to grow and scale their business. And collections, back office, all of those are a big part of the challenge, and you're helping them. Can you tell us more about how you can help those contractors grow their business with you and on their own?
Well, and I realize I'm beating the back office drum, but that support is very, very, very vital. Most guys go out and they'll do inspections or look at things, try to write bids, and they get home at the end of the day and they're spending their evening following up on all that paperwork and trying to remember which house they looked at when and what the details were. Our system is iPad based. Our system allows them to fill in the information while they're on the job, and as soon as they do that, the appropriate person in our back office is already supporting them, helping to develop the information, putting it together, so that literally when they walk off the job, they can push a button on their iPad and a proposal and a report are sent to the homeowner right then. They can show them the pictures. It's a huge sales tool, and that's difficult to develop. Daily, our back office is communicating with the roofers, reminding them they've got an appointment, or reminding them that they did an inspection and they need to get a price put together. That's valuable and important and helpful. We have national relationships with many of the manufacturers, most of the distribution outlets, which helps with not just pricing, but it helps with service. It helps with spec levels and support from that angle. Those are invaluable. And once again, quick pay and our ability to maneuver our marketing to support them how they see fit.
Yeah, you know what? That manufacturers and distributor relationships That's a biggie too, because if you're just starting in the roofing industry, or even if you haven't been super involved like you have, Marty, we all know the importance of those relationships and really getting to know our manufacturers and our distributors to get the best pricing and the best service.
Yes.
Well,
we think it works very well.
Yeah, that is awesome. I would love it if you would share with our audience some of the success stories. What are some of the contractor success stories that you've seen now with Go Roof Tune Up?
Well, in a number of markets, we have guys that started with us just barely after getting their license. They were good craftsmen. They met our standard. They knew how to look at a roof and figure out whether it could be repaired or not. Not every roofer knows how to do that, but even though they were new to the business, they were very good craftsmen, and they started out just by themselves, working for us, and a number of them in just a short time had 3 or 4 crews working for them. Continue to have 3 or 4 crews working for them on a daily basis. We have guys in the Seattle, Washington area, in Southern California, in Phoenix, in the Colorado area, that are excellent examples of guys that have developed nice businesses with us. Some of them still do work outside of us, but they or have expanded to do work outside of us, but they have nice businesses that they've developed using our system to get them started.
That's excellent. And you've also seen some contractors who have developed a territory with you and have just want to stay in that one territory, right? They just have put together a really nice business for their family.
Yeah, so when we go into an area, for example, I was talking to you the other day about a guy in Seattle. When we first went to Seattle, we had one guy, and so the whole market was his. And as it developed and started to grow, he had the option to gain, to get bigger, or to divide the territory. And it was his call whether he wanted to gain more work by having more people on his own, or whether he wanted to divide the territory and just do a smaller section. He chose, in this one particular case, he chose to divide the territory so he could stay closer to home. He didn't want to have to travel north of town anymore. And so we divided the territory, but it was completely his decision. And as we've continued to divide that territory, he being the senior man, he continues to make the decision what he wants to do. And we honor that relationship because he started with us. So it's kind of a first in guy has the seniority, and we want him to be as successful with us as he possibly can. So one guy, some guys have chosen to grow their business, other guys have chosen to just stay smaller, but stay focused, and it works in both categories.
That is great. I know on the coffee shop we've been talking a lot about this business model, and that really shows the flexibility and versatility that you can make a decision on. Do you want a great big company, or do you want a smaller company that works better with your family life and with everything else? So I think that is just great. So tell us, what is the process for signing up? How does this work?
So when we find someone who's interested, I meet with them. I go to the area where they are, and I meet with them, and we talk about roofing, obviously. I'm trying to determine whether they have the ability to do the kind of work that we are specializing in doing, which is repairs. Which, as I mentioned earlier, not everyone is capable of looking at a roof and figuring out how to repair it and how to get a 5-year warranty out of an old shingle roof. But if they get to that point, if we get to the point where we can see that we can work with them, and that they know what we're about, and that they're a good fit, then we offer them a contract. They sign the contract, and we go to work.
Wow, that's easy. That's nice. And it's nice to see something that's a good fit and easy to get there.
Yes.
So once they become a Go Roof Tune-Up contractor, what then?
So once we've signed the contract, we set them up in our system, which is a cloud-based what they call CRM, or customer resource management, I guess is what CRM stands for. Anyway, set them up on their system, on our system, and with that includes an email account. We review the territory that they want to do, and get them acclimated to the system. There's a little training involved in operating the iPad system, and once they understand that, and we work with them very close to get that set up. Once they understand that, and we have the territory set, we work hard to get the marketing going, and get some jobs get some leads coming in, get the jobs coming, and then we support them through the process of looking at the jobs, pricing the jobs, and then off to the races they go.
Wow, that's cool. I know we talked a little bit about the iPad, and once you're a Go Roof Tune-Up contractor, that iPad is very important on the job. Can you share a little bit more about that too?
So our system, being cloud-based, is accessible from the iPad, and while guys are on inspections, they're filling out the information, taking pictures of the jobs. From time to time, a guy will get something that looks a little odd to him, or maybe he has a question on it. So we use FaceTime a lot for collaborating while the guys are on inspections. They'll show us via FaceTime what they're looking at, and we'll talk about some options, what can and can't work, and together we'll come to a conclusion. With that technology, we can see what's going on, come to a conclusion of the best way to address it, and then they write it up and go from there. So we're trying to embrace as much of this collaborative technology that's out there to help make a collaborative effort to make a good decision so we can all be successful.
Yeah, I think that's I love the technology and what's coming into the roofing industry. And what I really like here too is the fact with that iPad, they're in constant contact with you, whether it's closing the job or asking questions about the roof or anything in that area. So it really, I would think, gives a great sense of confidence for the contractors.
It really does. Yeah, it really does.
So what everybody always has on their mind, what's it going to cost?
So there's no setup fee. There's no initiation fee. It's not a franchise. There's no franchise fee. There's no long-term commitment. If the roofer decides that it's not working for him anymore, he tells us, and we're done. We do have a small monthly fee for maintaining the CRM, and if a guy needs us to help him get an iPad or any of those other things, we charge a small fee for that on a monthly basis. But none of this is high price stuff. We're trying to make it very easy for guys to get started, and a very simple process to make it work.
Wow, it sounds great. Very interesting. So you know what? Marty, let's go and see what kind of questions we have out in the crowd, because I think there's just, even though it's very simple and straightforward, there's always a few questions budding out there. So
sure.
I would really like to encourage the folks who are on the line, please type in your questions now. And I do see a couple here, so let me just read this real quick. Oh, yeah, this is a comment, and maybe you could talk to this, but it said, this is the perfect solution for those homeowners that can't afford a new roof at this time, and the fact that you have a warranty when you're done is terrific, and being a homeowner, that is a big deal. Can you talk a little bit about that side of it, Marty, from the homeowner's position of not always having to have just a brand new roof, but being able to repair it and get a warranty?
So our tune-up program includes a 5-year fully transferable warranty to the homeowner. So if instead of just fixing a small section of a roof, which is the battle that most people have, you fix a small section of a roof and then it leaks again, and then the argument ensues with the homeowner. Well, I fixed this, but I didn't fix that. So our full tune-up is repair work that covers the entire roof. Everything is covered in that warranty, and so our big selling point, and the thing that our marketing people are working very hard to get homeowners to understand is we may not be the cheapest repair, but we're the best money spent because we're not just repairing a small piece. We're repairing everything and providing them. We're standing behind that for a 5-year warranty, no questions asked.
Wow. Wow. And maybe just a little bit further into that too on the marketing. Um, I know I work with your marketing group and they're just amazing. So that is going out over Google Ads and in local markets. So when these homeowners are coming in, they understand this concept, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's what they're looking for. People are looking for a solution that they can walk away and forget about their roof. It's done. And if something happens, they call us. And of course, there's limitations to every warranty. We don't cover hail, we don't cover wind, we don't cover falling bullets. But if it's a roof leak and it was caused by, if there's nothing external that's causing it, then it's covered. And our success rate is very high. We've had very few failures in our company wide where we've had to go back and fix something because our guys are good. They do a really good job.
Perfect. And what about licensing? Someone just brought in a question and they're wondering what are the licensing requirements?
So they have to be licensed with what the requirements are for their jurisdiction. So most places require roofers to have a contractor's license, whether it's a city license or a state license. There are some places where roofers don't have to have a registration or a contractor's license. They just have to have a city license. Whatever the local jurisdiction requires is what we require.
Okay, perfect. And I did see a raised hand earlier from one of our folks out there. So if you did raise your hand with a question, just over below where it says chat, just type in your question there, and I can get that from you. So that would be great. Okay, another question that came in. What are the insurance, or we talked about licensing, so what's the insurance or other requirements that a contractor may need to handle?
So, as I mentioned, we cover all the general liability insurance, and so if your jurisdiction requires that you have a minimal general liability policy, that's still required. But you won't be audited for any of the work that you do for us because we'll give you a certificate of insurance that says that you're covered by our insurance for the work that you do for us. Everybody has to have their own workers' comp insurance. That's a requirement. And other than that, that's it. Good quality people and living within the framework of the requirements and the laws of the jurisdiction is all we're looking for.
Perfect. And there was one more question that I have here. We kind of talked about it during the webinar, but if you could talk just a little bit more about as you're setting up territories and if a contractor already has a territory but they're getting so much work that they either need to grow or you need to split the territory, how does that work? Or if somebody, maybe a contractor online, it looks like is interested in a territory where there's already a contractor, how does that work?
So if we've already have a contractor in a territory, then we're not going to put another one there. So if there's someone in a region that's interested in coming on with us, we would talk to the roofer that's already there and ask him if he would like to split his territory or carve some of it off. And if he's willing to do that, then we can make room for another roofer in that territory. As I mentioned about our guy in Seattle, as an example, as his territory got too busy for him, we gave him the option of what he wanted to do. So we're not going to force anybody to grow, and we're not going to force anybody to work where they don't want to work. But First In has the first right of refusal on what happens as a territory grows. We have to do something at some point because we can't not take care of the people that are coming in. So we'll sit down I generally sit down with the guys myself and figure out what the game plan is going to be to make a successful business for everyone.
Perfect. And I lied. Here, one more question just came in. If you could maybe just talk a little bit more about the training that after you sign up, right? I know you do. You worked with the contractor up front, and then once you decide, and everybody's like, yeah, let's go. Then how does that training work with understanding the back office and the iPad and the CRM? Kind of, how does that work?
So we have a dedicated person in our back office team that works with them directly, shows them, walks them through how the CRM works, walks them through how the inspection process works, helps them with the photo uploading and all of those things, walk them through the whole deal, and usually it takes more than once. Most of us roofers are not that good at technology, and so somebody who's really good at technology and is a good teacher is who we have slated to take care of that. They just walk them through the process until they get it for themselves. It's pretty user friendly, but it is technology. So whatever help they need, they give them.
Seems to me that that's a good deal for their business overall, is to be able to learn a lot of what you're teaching them, because that's the future, using CRMs and
Absolutely.
iPads and FaceTime and all those things in the field and on the roof. So
it's the new world we live in.
It is. It is. Well, Marty, I think that is it for questions today. I do want to let everyone know that if you think of questions, a lot of times that happens to me afterwards, that I think, oh, I had a question, you can contact Marty directly. And here is his contact information. I would really recommend, too, to share this with other folks who might be interested in this kind of model. To me, it just makes so much sense, Marty. And we're just really proud to have you and Go Roof Tune Up on the coffee shop. Thank you so much.
I'm happy to be here, and just as a tagline, we're willing to go anywhere where there's good people that want to do good roofing. So don't think that we're not in your area. We'll go anywhere where there's good people.
I like that. Good people and good roofing. It sounds like something Vicki would come up with for the coffee shop. So I thank you again so much. We really appreciate your time today, and I appreciate every single person out there who listened. It was a great webinar, and I want to thank all of you again for joining us with Go Roof Tune Up on this Roofers Coffee Shop webinar. As mentioned before, it will be available soon online, so watch for it there and please share it. Our webinar series will take a break over the summer and start again in September. So please visit therooferscoffeeshop.com and learn more about Go Roof Tune Up through their blogs and directory. There's tons of great information. And be sure to view all of our recorded webinars and learn about upcoming events. And in fact, the Roofers Coffee Shop, we will be in Florida at the FRSA show next week, so I also encourage everyone to attend that. Again, Marty, thank you very much, and to everyone on the line, have a wonderful day.
Thank you.